I'm incredibly excited to be sharing this next video teaching with you on how to talk to star beings on your own. So ever since the blue light started really coming through and big surges starting in 2019, the number of people who are communicating with star beings, having the star beings come through, is just really gone through the roof. Everybody's super excited about it, as you should be. And I'm hearing from you all over the world. It doesn't matter what country you're in. Everybody is having experiences with the blue light frequency as well as star beings. Now, I know I'm going to say everyone, and you're going to go, well, not everyone. I'm not having it. But I'm going to share with you some tips today to see if we can help keep that enthusiasm, that inspiration going to where maybe you might just feel comfortable enough to try it on your own. So I'm going to look at my notes here. So just opening this just opening this video is a pretty strong indicator that you have a high probability that it could happen for you. Now, I am going to talk about fear that can get in the way, but just the fact that you were curious about the title, that you open this video, means that there might be something here for you. So stay in tune all the way to the end. So the star beings, what is a star being? A star being is another kind of class of beings, non-human, that live in other galaxies, that live in other star systems. They really like to refer to themselves as just being a different culture. Like we have lots of different cultures in the world that have different beliefs in their cultures, different rituals and ceremonies in their cultures, and they are the same way. They just happen to be from another star system or another planet. The star beings, the blue beings of light, as I often refer to them, they have shared with me that they've existed on the earth long before humans. So we are Homo sapiens, we are humans, and these blue beings of light have been here long before we ever existed. Star beings can be from all different star systems. I happen to know that the ones that I'm communicating with are Syrian, but there can be many, I don't know, there's a good 30 different star type beings in the world that exist. But the ones like Pleiadians, Arcturians, Lyrans, Syrians, Amma is a group of star beings that I know them as the crystal beings, that they tell me they come from beyond out the outer edges of the galaxy. They are very white light, very kind of a crystal light that they reflect. That crystal can be like this kind of rainbowish reflections everywhere. And the Amma, even though many of the Pleiadians, Arcturians, Lyrans, Syrians, there's many other star beings that actually exist on this planet that are existing in human form to assist us here on Earth. The Amma beings tell me that they've never been to this Earth, but they do show me themselves like communicating like a hologram. And often many of these beings will come through as a hologram in a very light way. So it can be almost like a mirage looking thing where it's this reflection. It's hard for you to kind of see. It's like, am I seeing this really? You know, like you're trying to clean your glasses, or you have that feeling or that sense. They're not going to come through as strong when they're in hologram form as they do when they come in their real form. But the Amma peoples are always telling me that they're always a hologram because they exist very, very far away. The blue beings of light. So the ones that I saw as Syrian, they were very tall. When they came into the room where I was meditating, they can be 8, 9, 10, up to 12 feet tall. They're very thin, very lanky, very intellectual, highly intellectual, which is part of the nature of being Syrian. And they happen to like to work with the blue frequency. And so what they tell me is Pleiadians can be blue, Lyrans can be blue, Arcturians can be blue, Amma at times could be blue if they wanted to work with the blue energy. So they said, Nancy, like you like to shift colors. Maybe you want to work with turquoise or pink or orange or red or green or purple, yellow. They said we are the same. Each one of those cosmic colors, those cosmic frequencies, have kind of a different quality, or we'll say a personality to them. So they share with me that this blue quality is about dissolving all illusions. We're going through these waves right now of dissolving lies, illuminating the truth that's within us, and knowing that they're going to enhance the frequency on earth so that justice can be served. They've been talking about that since 2017, but they've really cranked up the dial recently in the last few months, and will continue over the next 6 months to really help us to align with their frequencies in a way we've never been able to do it before, because we were not of a frequency. They've always been around, but our frequency wasn't aligned enough that we could communicate with them. And so that's why right now, how can you talk to star beings on your own? Your ability to be have that high probability is higher now than it ever has been before. So let's see. So when you are communicating with the blue beings of light, I want you to know, they want you to know they are not better than you. So if you're asking the questions like, can you tell me what to do? Can you help me to do this? Can you give me guidance about my marriage or my job or my life's path and purpose? That is not the frequency that they work with. They're here to support us as human beings to be inspired and have a wider range of probability when it comes to problem solve than we would have even had 3 years ago. Higher levels of knowledge are coming in. And so they are saying that they really like to watch us as humans, observe us, because we can create like things into matter. We can create and manifest into matter. So they love watching that. We also are emotional beings, and so they love observing that as well. So to be able to engage with star beings, you want to really create a resonance with you and your higher self. You want to create that relationship between you and your higher self. You want to create a relationship with Mother Earth, and you want to create a relationship with the cosmic consciousness. And once you are more in harmony with that, it can become easier for you. But what do I want to say about that? Is that what they said was, there are some people who have never meditated a day in their life. They've never done anything spiritual. They're not vegetarians. They might be rough and tumble and gritty. And they can have powerful, powerful star being experiences. So don't count yourself out. So when I ask, all right, so how does that happen? And they said, well, they've had a past life. So you may have had a past life in another galaxy, in another star system. You may carry within you star seed DNA. So your ancient ancestors would have been from the stars. So if you have those qualities, maybe you lived in a past life as a star being on another planet. Once you have those qualities, they can easily get reawakened within you. So even though I may be giving you a whole shopping list of instructions, for some of you, you don't need any of those instructions. You know exactly what to do, and it comes very natural for you. So, but for those who it doesn't come natural for and it's not easy, you want to get a resonance with your higher soul self and the earth and the cosmos. Now, I just want to jump in here and I want to talk about when you're communicating with the star beings, they are at a very high frequency. So the first time they came through to me, it sounded like a jet plane was landing. It's like I could hear the plane coming from far, far away. And as it was getting closer, it was getting louder. But it gets so loud sometimes that I feel like I need to duck, even though I'm in my house and I've got a roof over my head. I feel like I need to duck, like it can get that low. So I can hear them coming. But over time, the next thing I could hear after about 3 years, I could hear like whales and dolphin sounds when it came to the blue beings of light, when it came to the star beings. And then over time, I learned how to just mind speak with them. So mind speak is another word for telepathy. But with mind speak, it's pretty powerful. It's like it's strong. Like you may hear that communication coming through loud and clear through your mind. So it's that mind to mind communication. So now that's how I communicate with them. But this is where I want to insert here. What's the difference between talking with star beings and channeling star beings? Well, when I talk to star beings, it would be like you are sitting in my living room. We're sharing a cup of tea. We're having a chat. We're going back and forth. We're communicating. So that's how I talk to the star beings. They say something to me in my mind, and then I say something back to them. Now, if you've never communicated telepathically, there's nothing difficult about it. It's like you hear a thought or a statement in your mind, and then you answer back. How many of you have ever heard your name called? It's like Nancy or Bill, David, and you turn around and there's nobody there. And then you just, in your mind, you speak back. Yes. Is somebody trying to communicate with me? But with channeling, that's different. Channeling means that you are channeling this other being. It can be a star being or another spiritual being. You're channeling their energy through often the upper part of your body, and you are allowing that spirit to speak through you. So for me, I do not channel those beings. In my courses, I teach you how to channel your own spirit. However, there are some of you've made an agreement with the spirit before you were born that you would help them bring their messages to the earth. So you can look up, do a search engine, go on YouTube, go on Gaia Television. They've got a lot there for people who channel. And often when you see them channel, they've got their eyes closed because they're moving out of the way so this other being can move in. So right in the back of your head area, your neck, your shoulders, there are many lights of frequency and of chakras, like spinning wheels of high energy light. It comes down in the back. So when your spirit moves down, your own spirit moves down, then you're able to bring that wisdom to the forefront of your mind. Your own spirit is able to communicate through you and communicate that high level knowledge and wisdom that your own higher self is capable of communicating. However, if you are bringing through another being to communicate, then you're going to slightly move out of the way, and then that other being's going to come through the head, the neck, the shoulders. They're going to use your communication voice box to communicate. So that's why it's interesting when you watch someone who's channeling. It's like their voice changes, their affect personality comes through and changes, and it's not anything like you would be like. Now, there are some of you who channel very easily. You know how to clear your energy field afterwards. So there may be some of you that think that you would like to try that you want that spirit to kind of step behind you and send energy through that whole, I'll call it a light box that you have around this area. But for me, as a psychic, intuitive development teacher, I would always prefer to know that you've gotten to know your own system pretty well, and that you also know the tools that once that spirit steps back out, that you can rinse that energy, their energy, out of your, what I call your trans medium channels, because it's called trance channeling. So often people will say to me, "Oh, you channel the blue beings of light." And I'll say, "No, actually, I don't. I have a conversation." So I remain me, you remain you, the star beings remain the star beings, and we're all just having a nice little chat. All right, let's see, what other notes do I have here? The star beings, they're going to have free will. Now, and what I mean by that is, well, it's my experience. So I want to be really clear. It's my experience. If you call out to a certain star being, that it will hear that call. And if it's able to, if they're not busy doing something else, they will often appear. Often appear. But if they do not appear, you just want to have trust and faith that they may be saving the world right now, or the galaxy or the universe. So don't take it personally, but it is my experience when I'm watching people, clients or students call in a certain being, I will see that being come in. Because for them, remember, it's just a shift in frequency. It's just a shift. It's like, I'm here. And it's like, wait a minute. How many galaxies did you travel to get here? Oh, I just went through a really quick portal through the dimensions. So just to know, they have free will. You have free will. You get to choose to communicate with them or not at any point if it felt uncomfortable. Or I would say, 5 minutes is pretty good. Your vibration is so high, I think I need to take a frequency break. So if you call to them, it's my belief that they will always hear the call and they will always appear. But you want to become much more sensitive and subtle to the frequencies. And if you do, that's going to serve you well when it comes to communicating with star beings. The other thing is that they request from us to not project human qualities onto them. So like, for example, Syrians are more, less emotional. And so if you're a really emotional, empathic person, and you may say, oh, the star beings got angry, or the star beings got sad, those are projections, because they're saying they are at such a high frequency that they do not, they don't work within the range of emotions like that. So just know that they love to communicate with you. They love to support, uplift, but they are not going to interfere with your free will, what's going on in the world. And they're not going to interfere by helping you to make decisions about your life. They won't interfere at all. It's not like I'm asking them to interfere, but I may ask about a war, or ask about what's happening in another country or what's happening in another culture. Their presence may be known in those areas, but they are slowly uplifting the frequency so that if there's conflict in a certain area, they hope to bring clarity and hope to the area that can help heal that warring type pattern. I think I've already said if you've lived a previous life, you'll come through easily. The other thing is, it'd be like you've just met someone, right? you've just met them, and right away you start telling them about all your problems and all your thises and all your that's, and it's like you're drinking a cup of tea, like you don't offer them anything. It's not a relationship. It's just one-sided. So if you want to really enhance the probability of you being able to talk to the star beings, start off with gratitude, being grateful for all the ways that they are supporting our conscious expansion in the world. Do some research, find out if you want to talk to Pleiadians or Lyrans, Arcturians. Find out a little bit more about their personality style. Maybe you can find out in a YouTube video of what their culture was, what community, what planet they came from. But you can also go into meditation. You can ask your higher self, can you tell me a little bit more about what life was like for them, and how did they start coming here to Earth to support us? I think I've already shared with you, they will often appear as a hologram, not in real form. So it's like you've opened this video and you're watching me talk and you're listening. If we were on a Zoom call, I'd talk to you, you talk to me. We could be in different parts of the world, but it seems like we're right here in front of each other. So that's what a hologram is. It's a little flatter, but I know I've met people that have followed me on YouTube for a long time. When I meet them, it's so strange for me to see them in person because they're fully developed. They have a height, they have a weight, they have an eye color, they have a tonation to their voice. So when you meet them in person, they can bring a lot of those feeling type qualities with them. But if they're showing up in a hologram form, it'll be just like on a Zoom call. And as a matter of fact, that's a great imagination to play with, to say, okay, I'm going to send you Palladians, I'm going to send you a link, and I would love if a Palladian would pop on, click the link, and open that window to start communicating with me. So that's a fun way that you can try it. Let's see here. They love it when you appreciate, when you have a desire to know their culture. Their frequency may be super high, much higher than your frequency. So remember I said sometimes communication for just 5 minutes might be all you'll be able to do, and then you need to take a break. Sometimes you might not even know that they are there. And so you'll want to verify, are you there? You're going to get a yes or no from your own spirit, or you may hear them mind speak. Some people love to work with pendulums. I know how to work with pendulums, but I like to work more with my intuition and my clairvoyant sight. But if you are a pendulum person, everybody can learn how to work with a pendulum. You'll ask yes or no questions of the star beings, and they will only be able to give you yes or no answers. You may also work with divining rods. So the divining rods may open or close, meaning yes or no. And so the divining rods will move depending on what you're asking. But often these are limited to yes or no type questions. But please don't get discouraged because, like I said, it took me quite a few years before I could actually start having a real galactic conversation with them. The other thing that can amplify your ability to communicate with them is to getting the crystals specific for that type of star being. So you can look it up online, or you can go to a crystal store, look in a crystal book, find out, let's say if it's Pleiadians that you want to communicate with, find out which stone really amplifies your ability to do that. And crystals can also help you interpret what they are saying. And I do know that they do speak in different languages, but they've got this ability to interpret it in English, or whatever language, culture you're communicating. They'll be able to translate into that. So there's a lot more about light codes that I will talk about in another video. But just overall, I want you to get that sense. I want you to, do things that can help you align with your resonance, that help make it lighthearted and light-minded. So you might go out and play a game of tennis. You might go for a walk in nature. You might throw the ball for your dog. Or maybe you want to paint for a while, and maybe you want to play a musical instrument or meditate. I like baking pies. That can really help me get aligned with myself. So whatever you want to kind of start off with is kind of getting aligned with that creative aspect of yourself. You may want to meditate with the blue light meditation, which I have free on my website, intuitivemind.org. And then just be able to sit and be really quiet and invite them in. And then just see if you can feel that frequency. So to me, it's kind of like a mountain fresh air. To me, it can feel like, how snowflakes will fall and it's very quiet. And but you can feel the snowflakes kind of hit your aura and hit your skin. So that's another way you can know that they're around. Sometimes it's got those silver sparkles in it that you'll sense. Sometimes it's a really light blue. Sometimes it's all the way down to a really dark blue. But I know I've been teaching intuitive psychic development for a long time, and I know that everyone can learn to talk to star beings on their own, that you don't need to have someone do that for you. So hope you're excited. Hope you try it out. Please go try it out, and then let me know in the comments section if what kind of experience you had, and definitely ask your questions. I'll do my best to try to answer them. But they're coming in. This time is a peak time for you to be able to have an experience. So go for it. Let yourself drop any fears, drop any doubts, and just allow yourself to feel that high frequency of light and love and caring and gentleness, because we really need as much of that hope as we can get. Remember, we're always stronger together than we ever were apart. I look forward to seeing you on the next teaching.